Brian Little.
Japan.
Brian Little.
Japan.
Brian Little.
Japan. No! First one? First one? Oh, no! Come on! Come on!
No, 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 no,
Oh,
you're
it's
still alive!
alive! It's alive! No! Oh, God! Come here. Eat. You went up in the...
I'm spectating.
No, I got knocked out. Eric coming in like every night. Light him up.
Jack it up.
Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Shiny! 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 We have to get Merlin. We have to get Merlin. What is it? What is it? What is it? Water orb! I have this! Done. Tabby, go. Oh! Oh my God!
You know what the stakes are for this.
What? I see for the
Our
count?
marriage.
Microphone check. Microphone check. Check 2 1 2. What you gonna do, bro, when there's a ton of Hogwarts Legacy, a ton of Hogwarts Legacy news for you, bars? What is up, chat? We got mic checks in this chat from Zolis, Rita, Gabe. Who else we got? Cloud Roth, David M. Kelly, a.k.a. Potterhead Mando, Aether, Light Star with the Hey James, Crimson, Alexis, Amelia, Micah, Ryan, Merlin, a.k.a. Stargeezer Tim, a.k.a. 2 Tim, Zoxa, Baloo. And we also got friggin' nerds in the house, True Dark Lord and Sun. Who is that? Sunlit Assassin, along with Joel and also Stargeezer and Ghost Steps over on Twitch with Texas Chica rounding it off. And Anagara. I see you guys. Thanks for being here. Looks like the mic is checked and the sound is gravy. Awesome Blossom. Let me get my tunes. It'd be too quiet for you, boy. Let me get the tunes going. Give me 1 second. Media. I gotta play my Ryan Little chat. You already know that. You already know. Let's go random. Let's go shuffle. No, I want to start with. Let's start here. Oh man, so much to talk about. So little time, but we're gonna do it. Yo, this your boy James over at XpectoGO, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And today is another Wizarding Wednesday, a live stream where we come together every Wednesday to talk all things Wizarding World, whether that be theme parks, movies, TV shows, but mostly gaming. And today, honestly, if we have the time, I think it's just all Hogwarts Legacy 2, because the Merlin hole is about to, Niffler hole, I'm sorry, is about to just get expanded when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy, specifically for the sequel. We got some news for Hogwarts Legacy, but all of it is sequel related. Like, we got Hogwarts Legacy sales up to this point as of last week or 2 weeks ago. Hogwarts Legacy is doing something that I hoped they would do, and it looks like it's happening on top of other Harry Potter games coming to fruition, but not in the same way we thought. There's a lot. There's a lot to go through. Why all of this is happening, and it's all coming from one article in Variety. So we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of theories to go inside with this discussion, and honestly, I'm excited to talk with you guys about it and hear your thoughts, because y'all always bring the heat. So maybe if you had your headphones in, it would be quiet. What's up? Oh my gosh. He posted another behind the scenes quest video for Haunted Hogsmeade. Yep. In time for Halloween. Bro, I've told you guys last Wizarding Wednesday, and I'm staying true to it. They're posting all of these things because we're about to get an announcement. That's why. That's why. Like, we've been getting so much Hogwarts Legacy news just coming out of nowhere, bro. So I was like, we about to get something. And Joel, it doesn't matter if I have my headphones on. I want to hear it. The Hogwarts Legacy team is probably watching and seeing what other awesome things we can all come up with. Bro, they watch. In my last Hogwarts Legacy video, I got contacted by a couple of people who had their hands or were involved with the sound and music, because I had used one of the musics from the behind the scenes, one of the songs from behind the scenes. They were like, yo, thanks for playing my music, and there's like a couple of them and stuff. So they watch. They want to see what the general public and the community is talking about. So yeah, if you guys bring in some heat, hopefully we can have that passed on to the team and hopefully inspire some narrative decisions if they aren't already solidified by now. So we'll see. Are your alerts on? They should be. Wait, let me see. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me go in. Let me go into sound alerts. Hold on, chat. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So give me 1 second. Oh, we got new terms of services. That's why. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Hey. Oh, yeah, we should be good now. Ba. All right. They're watching chat, says Perez. Try again, Stargazer. If they jump to the post-Potter years, we can have McGonagall back. Hint, hint. I don't think... We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'm going to break it down into 4 parts. I'm going to break it down into 4 parts. I'm going to break this article down into 4 parts, and we'll discuss accordingly. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but we do also have Expecto mode. If you guys don't know, speaking of Hogwarts Legacy, we try and feature this awesome feature in game weekly during our Wizarding Wednesday live streams via the community. So every week we come up with a theme, and then the following week we highlight those themes based off the photos the community has taken using the photo mode in Hogwarts Legacy. And this week's theme is, I believe, fall or food. I can't remember. I got to check. I haven't looked into the photos yet, but either way, we're going to dive into that near the end of the stream. Speaking of the end of the stream, if we get 100 likes over on YouTube and we get good participation over on Twitch, we guys get to see A, your boy do pirouettes, but B, also help the channel reach others like yourselves who are interested in these type of topics. So either way, it's a dub for everybody, and it's fun. You get to see me fall on my face, possibly. You never know. The monthly milestone. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you guys aren't already, be sure to follow us over on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, be sure to follow us on YouTube. Joel, and right now, after that, James got a strike for playing that person's music. I know, right? I have a license to play Ryan Little, so we're good. Stargazer, what is... Oh, 26 months. Oh, I got a lot of AKs going on. But first, like we always do, I want to say hi to everybody who's watching this live as we highlight Stargazer celebrating 26 months of Patronus Squad. So we're going to highlight our Patronus Squad members and you who are currently watching this live. And if you're watching this on replay, be sure to comment below during the discussions, follow along, and I want to hear your thoughts. But before we get into that, speaking of thoughts, I do want to acknowledge... I just want to get out of the way. We will not be talking anything political today. If you need to do that, go to another place, at least for the next 2 hours. This is how long we're going to be. Big election happened yesterday. A lot of people feel a certain way. All that is happening right now. This is an escape, has been an escape for 4 years. This is Wizarding Wednesdays, and this is where we come together to talk all things that we love under the Wizarding World banner. So if that's something you're unable to do, I have given my mods the automatic ban hammer, at least for today. So please keep that in mind while streaming and hanging out with your boy in this awesome community. So please, thank you, and you have been warned. But that being said, let me say hi to everybody right quick. What do we got? Let me see. Participants. We got Alexis in the chat. We also got Becky and Brian, Patronus Squad members right there, along with Britta Clitta, Abigail, Bucky Mitchells, and then C Wolfpack, aka Cindy, Patronus Squad, White Star, and MD Night Hunter, along with Stargazer Tim, Micah, Moon Lily, and Perez, all 4 members of Patronus Squad. Remy LeBeau, one of the best names, aka Gambit. Who else we got? Niels Lorraine. I always worry about me pronouncing that right. Rita, Patronus Squad, with Ryan Kingsbury. Always have good and amazing thoughts. And then Stephe Trent, both members of Patronus Squad. Zox's Muggle husband, who I met this past weekend. What's up, bud? And then Zolis, XpectoGO, and Plestos, with Zolis being a member of Patronus Squad. Let me make sure my Streamlabs is logged in too. So thank you guys. If I missed you, if I didn't say hi to you, holla at your boy in chat right now. I'm going to go over on Twitch and say hi to everybody there. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got to make sure Streamlabs is logged in. Hey. Do I just have this one song on repeat? That's not supposed to be the case. That's not supposed to be the kiss. Hey. Let me see. And be sure to join in on the there it is. Be sure to chime in. There's the stream alerts. Be sure to join in on the poll over here over on YouTube as well. Light Star celebrating 12 months for Shorter Squad, a year. What's up, Light Star? Speaking of, I gotta say, before we get into Hogwarts Legacy 2, I don't have my photos on me. Wait, I can go to Discord. Never mind. I can go to Discord. Hold on. I will say we had a little meetup this past weekend. Let me see. Over at the Forbidden Forest experience. And it was a lot of fun. I got to, the best part, the experience was amazing. If you're a Potterhead, I suggest try and make it out if you can. If it's financially, if you're financially able to do it, I would suggest doing it. It's a lot of fun. It was amazing. But I'm just going to share. Yes. Let me see. A bunch of us went this past weekend, hung out. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, this is the crew. For Logan, Hillary, Jen, and her husband, with Cindy represented. Hillary's crew, Anita, Josh, Zoxa, myself, and Sue. All of us were there at the Forbidden Forest experience. It was cold, but a lot of fun, and oh my gosh, so immersive. I could cry, so it was a lot of fun. Logan, speaking of Logan, so happy to meet you all in person at the Forbidden Forest experience. Celebrated 28 months of Patronus Squad. Speaking of Logan, in the chat over on YouTube. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I would encourage you to experience it. Just like the Harry Potter exhibit, very immersive, very on brand, a lot of fun, a lot of exclusive merch, but also just an overall amazing experience, taking you through the entire book series, but focusing on the Forbidden Forest. And it was amazing. I just gotta say, it was amazing. But the cherry on top, and what made it so beautiful, was definitely hanging out with our members of the community and seeing them again. We hadn't had like a really hangout session with some of them guys since, I want to say, not Hogwarts Legacy, Wizards Unite. Definitely not during Hogwarts Legacy, outside of the creators. But yeah, it was a good time. And I'm glad I got to go. I'm glad I got to share the experience with Sue and the community. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that. Shout out to everybody who was able to go, and Cindy for giving her spot to Jen Kingdom and her husband. Got to talk nerdy about Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter in general, and gaming and stuff. But yeah, good food, great time, and it was awful. It was awesome. I will be making a video about it soon. I got a big football playoff game this Friday, so it probably will go out next week. So just a FYI. But yeah, I just want to highlight before we dive into the stuff. Had a wonderful time since Lightstar. Yeah, me too. Thanks for coming out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that being said, bro, yo's in the chat if you guys are ready. Moon Lily celebrated 16 months of Patronus Squad. Can't wait for Hogwarts Legacy 2. I'm excited. Me too. I'm excited to talk about it. With you guys. Double streaming, says Micah. What's up, Micah? Oh my gosh. So let's do this. Yo's in the chat. Let's get into the Hogwarts Legacy 2 chit chat. And let's do it. See my commentary. No, I missed it. Gomes, did I see your comment? Did I miss your commentary? Apologies. Be prepared to walk. Yes, be prepared to walk. I agree. I agree. We got Yost from Lightstar and Sunlit Assassin over on Twitch, and everybody over on, along with Ghost Steps over on Twitch, and everybody here on YouTube. All right, let's do latest and greatest, because that's literally the news. As Cephei celebrates 26 months, I have to make a 2-year emblem now. Celebrates 26 months of Patronus Squad, Team Merlin's legacy. Bro, I have so many theories. We got to get into it. All right, let me see. Yeah, let's do latest and greatest, and let's get right into the Hogwarts Legacy 2 news on the other side. It's over. I'd expect to go bring you guys the latest and greatest,
Ryan Little.
All right, Mikey D, check. We are back. Let me make sure this is turned off. All right. A Phoenix for 2 years, just to suggest it. Ooh, I'll take it. A Phoenix or a Dragon Patronus. The theme has always been Patronus Squad, so yeah, I like it. I'll put out a poll. And I'll make one. All right, so this dropped yesterday. An article from Variety. Variety and Forbes just seem to be just breaking all the news when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy as of late. And this is no different. Harry Potter 2.0. How Warner Brothers plans to keep the magic alive with a new HBO series, video games, and pricey merch. Now, for those of you guys unaware, this whole article kind of breaks down Warner Brothers just going all in on the Harry Potter franchise. And this is not anything surprising, obviously, because they said when Warner Brothers was bought out by Discovery that they were going to lean heavily into their franchises. Franchises like DC, thus DC Studios, run by, James Gunn and Peter Safran. And of course, the other IPs, primarily being Harry Potter. And back, I want to say in 2021, the team over at WB and Discovery came together for Max and announced that they will be making a Harry Potter TV series. And we started getting a lot of headway towards that specific medium with the TV series, especially this summer, with the showrunner being named, and of course the recent announcement of casting call in the UK and Scotland for Hermione, Ron, and of course the new Harry Potter. And the TV series is scheduled for around 2026, at the best, latest 2027, early 2027. And so all of this is coming together as one big push on top of Hogwarts Legacy releasing last year and the new recent games we've gotten with Quidditch Champions and, of course, Magic Awaken, all releasing within a year of Hogwarts Legacy. So we've been getting a lot of Harry Potter. Not to mention the new TV show, baking TV show to be exact, that's coming from the team. So we breaking down the article. In a grand mahogany kitchen, they talk about there's people cooking, and this is in relations to the figures darling her between the props and culinary equipment aren't house elves. They're contestants on the competitive show Harry Potter Wizards of Baking, which bows November 14th on Food Network and Max. So literally next week, this is going to be popping up. And we knew we were going to get stuff like this because Discovery, just as an entity by itself, had all of the home improvement stuff and the culinary stuff and everything, all of that under their banner, and brought it with them when they merged with WB. So this was just a marriage made in heaven and perfect. And they talked about who the host and like the twins, Fred and George actors are going to be the host of the show. And they're just hyping it up, highlighting it. And some execs over at WB are excited about this. But this is where we start getting into what we all care about, which is Hogwarts Legacy and Harry Potter games. And they break down the reasons why we're getting it. So the goal is ambitious. This is referring to the baking show. The goal is ambitious. Warner Brothers needs to extend the franchise born in 1997 with the first installment of J.K. Rowling's best-selling novel series with fresh spins on the characters and worlds that Potter fans know and love. And again, they're trying to push Harry Potter. The studio's blueprint for revitalizing the Potter universe will continue the biggest risk of all, the scripted Harry Potter TV series, targeted for a debut on HBO in 2026. So, this is what they're trying to do. The baking show, the TV series in the works, and capitalizing on the Harry Potter IP. But when it comes to the gaming, this is where it gets crazy. So they talked about how they've had some hiccups when it comes to Harry Potter. Specifically for Fantastic Beasts. In years since, Warner Brothers has struggled with his Potter-adjacent Fantastic Beasts films written by Rowling and the last film regular Potter screenwriter Steve Kloves. Big budget titles released in 2016, 2018, and 2022 generated little heat at the global box office. More recently, Rowling herself has become an obstacle for future franchises because of the author's opinion on trans and everything. And even Jude Law and Eddie Redmayne have said that we're not going to continue the series. So where will they look to get a bolster for the Harry Potter franchise? Warner Brothers was encouraged last year by the strong response from Potter fans to the new video game Hogwarts Legacy, which wound up the top-selling game of 2023 and has crossed 30 million units sold as of last month. Now, this 30 million units sold is a new figure. We've been going with the 24 million units sold based off of the figures given to us officially by WB back this summer. So this game has been, and we've talked about it every Wednesday, and even in past videos, this game has remained in the top 10 best-selling games every month. Whether it's in the UK, definitely, even in the top 5, I think, in the UK. But definitely in the top 10, we saw it was around 9 or 8 on Steam a couple of weeks ago. This game continues to print money, and with the loss of money that WB has had to endure with titles like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and of course, the failures with the Fantastic Beasts franchise, WB seems to be focusing on Hogwarts Legacy as that catalyst to push them and this franchise through to a wider audience, thus making more moolah at the end of the day. And so this and the Harry Potter TV series seems to be their big push alongside the baking show. That being said, they talk about how, yeah, the fans, we know you love the Harry Potter franchise, but they were trying to figure out how and why. And David Haddad, the WB Games president, talks about how our insights tells us that there are not huge distinctions between a young version of a fan and an older version of a fan. They're just deep Harry Potter fans, and we try to build authentic experience to delight them. And this is something we all kind of knew, especially when it came to Hogwarts Legacy. This was something I, myself, and Sue can enjoy, but our 2 kids could go and play as well, outside of some mature themes that might, you know, hinder a kid based on their age. But overall, this game is very appealing to a wide audience, and that's Harry Potter. Harry Potter we started reading it when we were young, but we still read it when we're old and introduce it to the next generation when it moves forward. So this was something Avalanche Software was able to capitalize on with the IP, using Hogwarts Legacy as that catalyst to widen its gaze. And even with it releasing on a Nintendo Switch, a more than likely youth-oriented console, it still made, I think it sold over 5 to 6 million copies in November, December of 2023 alone when the Switch version came out. This game is printing money, and that's because it has a wide appeal. So, that being said, there's a big thing that comes, and this is where we're going to spend a lot of time just based off of this. And it's this phrase right here, again from David Haddad, WB Games president. And we get insight into what they're looking for when it comes to the Harry Potter franchise, but how Hogwarts Legacy is going to play a role in it. And this is where David Haddad says the games team has been coordinating some of the big picture storytelling elements in the Hogwarts Legacy sequel with the storylines that will play out in the Harry Potter HBO series coming from Warner Bros. Television. He notes the success of Hogwarts Legacy helped stoke confidence that the time was right to make a major Potter push. The rest of the company was very curious about what has helped to unlock with Hogwarts Legacy last year. And this is where things get interesting. First, I'm going to touch on the company trying to figure out what worked with Hogwarts Legacy. And just like with any product, paying homage to the IP while also making something for the fans or for your customers is usually a good place to start. Not with the intent, obviously, of making money, but making something for the fans that is geared and directed and made by fans to unlock and touch on, or at least bring both fandoms as a developer as a consumer together to experience together. And I know that's what Avalanche Software specifically tapped into, having been able to talk and meet with so many of them at the Gameplay Showcase, and of course, the early reviews when they flew us out to LA, hashtag sponsored by WB. I'm fascinated by how nerdy the Avalanche Software team is. And you can see it with guys like Chandler Wood, who's a community manager, and referencing so many things that is just hinted at in the books, never seen in any other medium, video games, movies, television shows, books, anything. Just mentioned in the books, but brought to life in the video game, just because they know what it is. And so having people who are fans of the IP of this franchise work on the franchise and bring that passion and vision and understanding of not only the IP, but of the fandom itself, and being able to tap into that because they are fans, that's a great recipe for success, on top of having very good developers when it comes to video games, or very good writers when it comes to movies and the TV show which come in 2026. That's what I think Warner Brothers needs to tap into, and looks to be tapping into, not only with the Harry Potter franchise, but with DC having a James Gunn and Peter Safran head DC Studios. And man, stuff like Creature Commando is just coming out. The Penguin from Matt Reeves, and of course Superman next year by James Gunn. And it looks like that's what WB Games, well, WB in general, is trying to do. And it looks like they're doing that so far. That being said, the next part. Big picture storytelling elements in the Hogwarts Legacy sequel seem to coordinate with the storylines that will play out in the Harry Potter HBO series. What in the ham sandwich does that mean, chat? Coordinating some of the big picture storytelling elements in Hogwarts Legacy sequel with the storylines that will play out in Harry Potter HBO series coming from Warner Brothers. I'm so happy that the IP continues, Lumos. Sydney celebrated 25 months of Patroni Squad. My question, chat, and it's on the poll. Is Hogwarts Legacy becoming, especially the sequel, canon? Your thoughts. And smash the like button. Sig! What is good? Hey, what's up, Lee? Magica, welcome. Cloud Roth. If they interjected our character in OG story, is not for me. I think it could be cool with something else. Making the keepers canon, bring in Dumbledore, says Lee. Professor Ben's lectures about events that happened in the TV show. That's a small sample size that would connect. I think that's more likely. Sig, miss you guys. We miss you too. It looks like you're getting your nerd on over there. Good to see you though. Nigga Angie with the yo. They specifically mentioned how JK is consulted on canon events in the article. Yes. But she has to give the green light when it comes to those things. So Rowling is not involved. Yeah, this is it right here. So Rowling is not involved in managing the franchise, but Warner Bros. Discovery executives keep her updated via her literary agent. If we're going to ever go beyond a canon conversation, we can make sure that we are all comfortable with what we're doing. Says Robert, Warner Bros. Discovery head of global consumer products. This is canon, right? They're talking about going beyond canon. And they mentioned Hogwarts Legacy and coordinating the overall storytelling elements, big picture storytelling elements, with how the Harry Potter series will play out. There's two things. They're either going to change some stuff when it comes to the Harry Potter series, or they're going to make the big picture things for Hogwarts Legacy tie in to the Harry Potter series. It's one of those two things. Because talking about having to check with JK and her literary team about going beyond canon is mentioned in this article. Now, what a lot of people, and I'm surprised they didn't mention, Portkey Games gives them that ability to give new original stories within the Wizarding world without it having to be canon. But the fact that they mention canon means Hogwarts Legacy is going to tie in some way, shape, or form. Whether just from the video game side or actually from the TV series side. Which also does the team over at Avalanche Software know the big picture of the Harry Potter TV series also, by the way? Definitely leaning towards canon, says definitely endless possibilities. Agreed. Let me see. Barbara Well says, I want more storyline of the founders, the keepers, explore more of the surrounding areas that we could get into using your wands and the dang broom. Does that mean Rowling approved most of the events in Hogwarts Legacy? Her team had to, I believe. But that's where Portkey Games comes into effect. Because they can do original stories. Because the story in Wizards Unite had to be approved, but it works under the Portkey Games banner. But I don't think Rowling necessarily had a role because this had nothing to do with the canon events. Wizards Unite is after the events of the books. Hogwarts Mystery is like a decade or two before the events in the books. Obviously, Hogwarts Legacy is 100 years before the events in the books. So none of them really have anything to do with the books outside of mentioning and using the characters. Portkey Games allows them to tell original stories within the Wizarding world. So J.K. Rowling's involvement here, if only by checklisting and saying, getting the green light, is, hey, I might let you guys do this if you want to go beyond canon events. That is crazy. I saw and heard they are making the play Harry Potter the Cursed Child into a movie coming next year or next year. I don't know if that's confirmed, but that would be interesting. I hope they don't. Probably a second option. Storyline and sequel bleeds into Voldemort's rise. More creative control given the devs whilst being gatekeeped via Rowling and Water, most likely. So this. I'm going to focus on where it could work. And then we can let's get into why this could be a good thing and a bad thing first, before we get into the possibilities. Well, there was a pitch given by the lead writer, so maybe there is something closely decided. Yeah, agreed, high IQ Water. Yeah, not the screenwriter, whoever's the head of the director for a TV show. It's not screenwriter. It's something writer. But anyway, they had to pitch to JK and other members of WB for the Harry Potter TV series before they got the role. And so there has to be some communication between the two teams, from Avalanche Software's narrative team and the Harry Potter TV series narrative team, or writers per se. There has to be some connect, especially if they're bouncing off of each other. Amber of Secrets, the game should expand on the things not mentioned in the books, such as the relationships between Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel, Sorcerer's Stone, and Salazar. Agreed, Anthony. Do you think the game and series could come around the same time to help with marketing both? And you think the game and series will be released? So the series is scheduled 2026, 2027, early 2027, late 2026, early 2027, based off official sources. This article only says 2026. Now, 2026 is 3 years after the release of Hogwarts Legacy back in February. I think 2026 is not likely. If they grow the team and get a lot of people, maybe. But I feel like that's too much of a push, especially knowing, because everybody forgets this, they didn't stop working on Hogwarts Legacy's release until November of 2023. Everybody references February, but they were working hard in February for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series versions, and then kept working for the PS4 and Xbox One versions released in April, and then kept working for the Nintendo Switch versions that were released in November. All of 2023, they were continuously working on releasing Hogwarts Legacy. So technically, them being able to work on the sequel would start somewhere after the release of the Nintendo Switch version, between November of 2023 and now November of 2024. That's your window, on top of the updates we got with photo mode and everything else, and now the definitive edition or director's cut that's being mentioned as well. Now, we know there's going to be two separate teams. We know Rocksteady, who made the Batman Arkham series alongside Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League, are helping them with the definitive edition based off of the report from Bloomberg, from Jason Schreier, who usually doesn't miss. We know the definitive edition is the new title based off of Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson, who also usually doesn't miss. But there's also the team. They also acknowledge that they're working on the sequel, and we see that with the hiring list over at WB Discovery and Avalanche Software. So we know they're making strides to make the sequel. But if they start it the earliest, January, February, Because I don't see them working in December because they usually give these cats off or whatever. Usually close to the holidays. So January 2024, possibly starting working on storyboard stuff for the sequel. That's 2024. 2 years? I don't see 2026 being a release date. Even though they talk about the collab between the TV series and Hogwarts Legacy. I don't see 2026 being a possible release date. I hate to burst your bubble. I hope I'm wrong. But AAA game like this that's going to be bigger and better than the first one. Everybody forget how long it took to make the first one. Even though we have the blueprint now. I don't see 2026 being a possible release date. Now, we need to remember how terrible Rings of Power right now. That's Amazon, and I don't think I'm standing by this. I don't think the people who wrote Rings of Power had the ability to play with all the toys in the toy chest when it comes to Tolkien's work. So some of it came across as fan fiction. Some of it wasn't even accurate. I think where it could work, main villain. Okay. So before we get into how the Hogwarts Legacy and Harry Potter series could, I guess, come together and be canon, and what events, what characters, or what narratively they could use to tie both the TV series and the game. Well, before we get into that, I need to know, chat, because I'm going to share my thoughts. Hogwarts Legacy possibly being canon to the Harry Potter universe, just like Fantastic Beasts. Is this good or bad? Or are you neutral? Let me know in chat. You already have the base game. They can say 2026 and delay it. No, don't do that. Just say a far off date. Do 2027. Hope the WB bosses don't rush the devs for the sequel. Let Avalanche cook. Agreed, Becky. If this releases in 2028, then it probably means that the connected events will show up in either Prisoner of Azkaban or Chamber of Secrets storyline. Game comes out before new story connections. True. But it doesn't necessarily... Well, again, we'll talk about it. I just need to know your thoughts on if you think Hogwarts Legacy being canon to the Harry Potter franchise based on the books and the Fantastic Beasts series is a good thing. Good, bad, or neutral. Again, feel free to participate in the poll. Neutral, says Becky. Neutral has got pros and cons, says Magica. I think it's good, says Trent. Could be good or bad, says Nagara, to be honest. I personally like it, says Tawny and Luke. Neutral, says Moon Lily. I'm definitely interested to see how they will weave the storylines together. That will be fun. But Critter, good. It expands the world as long as the story doesn't get out of hand and crazy like Star Wars. Cindy, final poll results on Twitch. 71% says yes. 29% says no. I trust them, so it will be good, says Adil. Good thing, need different I don't know how to pronounce that. High IQ. Differences from the movies. Good, says Potterhead Mando. Good, says Julia. I don't see it as a bad thing, says White Star, but it will have to be done / worded careful due to the variety of our characters and their actions. That's a very good point. Canon and neutral, worried it may limit them, says Steffe. That's another good point. We want Poppy and Scamander bloodline. Hey, I forgot about that, Tony. As long as WB stays away from live service, it doesn't matter. Says Perez. Just let Avalanche cook. I'm right there with you. Neutral, but yes, connecting storylines would be tricky, says Zoxa, who I also met at the thing. What's up, Zoxa? They would need to declare a canonical version of the events as everyone's experience was different. Oh, yeah. Largely depends on how they handle it. Good point, Merlin. I'm scared, says Bucky. Samuel says good, but it'll be a tall order to make it click, I think. That's where I come in. I'm not neutral on it. I am neutral on it, says Samantha. Micah says, I think it's good only if the original Hogwarts Legacy isn't canon. I don't like how they handled ancient magic. I think I'm with you, just a name. Trust in the wizard company. This is a deal. Love it, says Aether. If they do things right, it could be good. If not, I meant to say I'm scared of the outcome, says okay. I expect you might be right, Merlin. Yeah. So mostly neutral and good, not a lot of bad. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm neutral. I'm like lawful good. Like, I'm neutral, but like I'm not dead center. I'm like leaning towards positive. But I'm still neutral, but leaning towards positive. And here's why. First, there's a lot they can do. And it has me excited narratively on ways they can connect the Hogwarts Legacy story with the events that lead to Fantastic Beasts and, of course, into the Harry Potter series. There's 100 years between the Harry Potter series and our events. 30 to 50 some odd years between the Hogwarts Legacy and Fantastic Beasts. And so there's a lot they can do. And I've been thinking of a video since this news dropped of like 5 ways they can connect Hogwarts Legacy to the Harry Potter series canonically and narratively that would make sense. And I think I'm just going to lay them out today. Excuse me. But when it comes to my hesitation, it's always leadership. It's always based off of if WB will let Avalanche Software cook. That's why I'm neutral. Because at the end of the day, we love Avalanche Software. We trust Avalanche Software because they gave us this amazing product that sold over 30 million units and is still in the top 10 across the board in sales. A year, almost 2 years later. That's not an accident. But with WB focusing on this Harry Potter push that they were honestly scared of until Hogwarts Legacy was a success, it's like they're jumping on the bandwagon now. And that scares me. Because they're jumping on the bandwagon because this game is printing money for them. And they're going to try to tie everything to this popular IP that is Hogwarts Legacy now. Just to ride that train, money train, have you, and hopefully make more money, whether it's with the TV series and tying it with Hogwarts Legacy, whether it's on the other games and tying it to Hogwarts Legacy, whether it's merch and tying it to Hogwarts Legacy. Heck, we could even get an exhibit or even part of a park over at Universal after the Ministry of Magic that's related to Hogwarts Legacy. And that scares me. That scares me. Because Avalanche Software still has to answer to WB. They still have to answer to David Haddad, who's the WB Games president. David Haddad has to answer to David Zaslav, who's the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. And Zaslav honestly answers to the stockholders of Warner Brothers Discovery, i.e. the cats who's giving the money. That's the latter. So hopefully, I'm still leaning neutral, positive, but that's my concern. Because I'm not worried about the writers for either side. If you know if you've done your research and looked up who the screenwriters and the writers and directors for the TV series and the writers over at Hogwarts Legacy, I think that's definitely going to be a decent and strong part of each medium when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy and gaming and the TV series for a Harry Potter show. The Hogwarts Legacy narratives does have its flaws, a couple of plot holes in my opinion, but overall I still think strongly, overall storyline, I think it could work. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I'm leaning the way it does. Bottom line, whatever makes the money. Yeah, yep. Aether says, yeah, I'm neutral positive, and where it might take us. If in Avalanche we trust. Agreed, Becky. The first is going to get washed. They're going to wreck it by linking it with WB's here. I hope not, Ryan. I don't blame you for feeling that way. Hogwarts Legacy 2 not having a large part in the Scottish Highlands would mean the game takes years longer to make. They would need to build a new world. I think WB wants Hogwarts Legacy out to, and that's another thing. If they're going to push, if they're going to let Avalanche Software cook and take all the time they need. They did with the first game. Because what? We got rumors, the first like leaked trailer is 2018. The reveal trailer was 2020. It's supposed to come out 2022. Got delayed to 2023. No, it's supposed to come out 2021. Got pushed to 2022. Got delayed into 2023. So 3 years after the reveal trailers when we got our hands on the game. And not even that, like 2.5 years. So WB, just let cook, bro. Just let them cook. Some action on Twitch, gifted subs and more. Oh, let me go on Twitch right quick. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Anonymous gifter to 1 sub to to Zayad. Anonymous gifter, thank you for the Lumos over on Twitch. Thank you, guys. And everybody watching on Twitch, feel free to chime in. I'm going to try to read you guys' thoughts. But thank you for a double. We got Nifflers from Cindy, hearts in the chat from Ghost Step, and Zayad with the hearts. Rita with the Nifflers as well. So shout out to everybody on Twitch. I'm trying to find a plugin so I can have both YouTube and Twitch chat on my screen so I can read both of them. But that's where I'm at when it comes to this being good or bad. Now, going back to the article. How can we make this canon? How can we make, what avenue do you think we can make Hogwarts Legacy canon? Because I have 5 thoughts, but I'll just name 2 of them. You need a sassy leader there to read all the chats for you. I do. She's probably eating. I really want them to continue the story in Hogwarts Legacy and Hogwarts Legacy 2. Now, keep in mind, they're not scratching the Hogwarts Legacy story. They're just making sure, big picture-wise, from a macro standpoint, whatever happens in the second or third game, narratively, ties or coordinates with the Harry Potter TV series. So it's not like they're getting rid of the story from Hogwarts Legacy or the characters that we've met. They're not doing any of that based off the wording. It's just talking big picture. Again, big picture. Big picture, we got to find out what happens to us in our 7th year. Big picture, we got to figure out what we do with our ancient magic. That's big picture. And I have thoughts on how that works. And a reminder of last week's Earwax redemption. How many do I have to eat, Cindy? I completely forgot he was on YouTube, says Princess too. Yeah. I'm working both double duty, Princess. Thanks for being here, by the way. Lily Potter was a keeper in new ancient magic. Whoa, Britta Critter, just laying it down. The danger has to come to us, says Moon Lily. Go the cursed child route. What do you mean, Metatron? Don't know. Please don't do time travel. Look at what WB did to Arkham. I trust Avalanche. The problem is WB. Gabe, you're not wrong based off of actions. Actions speak louder than words. They're saying the right things, but their actions have shown to be contrary from time to time. But the first game is amazing, so I trust the next one will be good, says a deal. I like Ben's idea, an event that explains why there's so much divide with muggles and wizards, almost like the beginning of an uprising. Have the Gaunts play a part in it. Agreed, James. Advancement of the storyline. We need our backstory. Ben's talking about the uprising. That was an issue, obviously, with Grindelwald and, of course, Voldemort. But the whole Muggle dynamic, I don't think you need to introduce. It's the Wizarding world. We know what the Muggle world is. I think you tie in either Dumbledore or Ancient Magic. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sue's in the chat.
I almost made it without you noticing. The chat.
Oh no, I had to eat a handful? All right, I'll do it at the end. Cindy, remind me.
Hello, everybody.
Remind me, around 6:20. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
You're in charge of Twitch chat as well.
Cool.
Thanks for the lurk, Jenny. Yeah, Grindelwald nearly caused the Uprising War, so I imagine it'll brought up into the game eventually. I don't think it needs it. So, I think Ancient Magic or Dumbledore has to be the connective tissue. Not so much this uprising between Muggles and Wizards. And here's why. First, Ancient Magic, they got the whispers of Ancient Magic or traces of Ancient Magic from a line that Dumbledore or Voldemort said, I believe in the first book, when he's talking about Ancient Magic, and it leaves traces. And that's why Dumbledore left Harry with his aunt and uncle, or Lily's sister. Ancient Magic seems to be a connective tissue, especially with the Harry Potter series, because it's how Harry survives. It's why Harry is able to do a lot of things. It's why Voldemort, who studied Ancient Magic and the Horcruxes and even the Hallows, goes into the thing he does. I think Ancient Magic has to be that connective tissue more so than a Muggle and Wizards fight between each other. Because we just had that with goblins. And I just think it's repetitive, in my opinion. I think it's repetitive. Focus on Ancient Magic. We, the character, is something that we control and nobody else can do for whatever reason. Follow that plot line and take it to Albus Dumbledore. It's like 3 scripts I'm working on, and I have it where our knowledge of Ancient Magic is passed on to Dumbledore, which is why he's also so OP when he's at school as well. But we won't get into that.
Denebula said Ancient Magic is the clear connection, and then Andrew came in and said maybe Dumbledore and Grindelwald consume the Ancient Magic because you have to make it a scarce resource. Britter said Lily is the link.
Yeah, for the Harry Potter series, for sure.
Yeah.
But use Dumbledore with his knowledge of Ancient Magic to also be the link, which is why he left Harry with his aunt and uncle, because he recognized the reason Harry survived was because of Ancient Magic, because Dumbledore understands Ancient Magic. And he understands Ancient Magic because of us. That's how you connect it. It's easy. It's already there. You ain't got to go into wars with goblins and wizards, or wars with wizards and muggles, or take out characters like Sebastian, that side, and Poppy. You can keep all of that. Have them as side quests, side characters, side storylines. The narrative plot line has been, since the very beginning of the first game, and should be at the very end of the third game, Ancient Magic. That's how you connect the series. That's how you connect it. Because Voldemort is always after power. And you can go with the power dynamic and how people abuse it. Hey, we use it for good. Ranrock used it for bad. Keepers used it for good. Isadora used it for bad, even though she was trying to use it for good. And you can keep going all the way back, all the way forward. Grindelwald wanted the power. Both he and Dumbledore were powerful and had distinct vision on what they would do once they got to a certain age with that power. But now power corrupts and they had to go their separate ways. Same with Voldemort and Harry. Like, it's always been the power. It's always been the magic. That's what ties us. And they say it in the freaking trailer. That's what ties all of us together.
Fritter said, we use it for good? LOL, not in my playthrough. Samantha, I'm really glad your book club is liking my books so far. That's really cool.
No way. You got a book club featuring your book. That's awesome.
That makes me smile. And if you do like them or if you don't like them, a review would be awesome. We had some good comments, though.
Oh, good.
Tarnish the Witch said, I don't believe Dumbledore is an ancient magic user, just a very knowledgeable and powerful wizard.
Yes.
Repeat after me asked, can ancient magic be diluted? Which is an interesting question.
We saw it diluted with Isadora. Because the keepers were unaware, were like, what is that? The ancient magic looked dark. So we saw it corrupted.
Oh, corrupted.
Yeah. So I took diluted and corrupted as the same thing. So yes.
Denebula said, it seems some ancient magic may be tapped by accident.
Yes.
I suspect Lily had no intention of creating a powerful spell, only wanted to protect her son.
Facts.
Ryan, yes, I have a few books. Perez, thank you. Perez said, James, do you think JK will write another novel just to make Hogleg canon to tie everything together? I just hope that WB remembers it's a game from fans to fans.
So I seriously doubt JK would do that. That's not her story. That's not her like vibe anyway.
Yeah.
I just think this is WB capitalizing on the success of Hogwarts Legacy and being like, hey, let's tie this all together in some way, shape, or form, which is why they're talking about extending canon or going beyond a canon conversation with JK. That's all. They're like, hey, if we wanted to go beyond canon and try to link these things together, would you be down with it? And they acknowledged they would need the green light from JK and her literary team. I think that's all it is. She doesn't need to write the book. The story is already written. You're taking advantage of this IP in a variety of mediums. No need to put it in a book as well.
Denebula agrees on the comment about Dumbledore and Grindelwald not being ancient magic users. High IQ Warrior said ancient magic seems to be tied to deep emotions, probably why Morganach was able to extract the power of pain.
Yeah.
Tarnish the Witch said, to be honest, I don't even want Hogleg linked to the mainline story. It should be its own separate storyline, in their opinion.
There's ways you can do both. Go ahead, keep going. I want to comment on that.
I feel like when you didn't start out with the plan of connecting it and then you wait until midstream and decide to connect it, like if they had a really robust plan from the beginning, then that's good.
Yeah.
But as in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, if you change goals partway through, it doesn't work very well.
So we know Moira Squire based off of Andy Reload's conversation with her during the initial launch or early access section. They left the narrative open-ended and had plans, or at least laid the groundwork for the sequel. So we know they have plans for the sequel, narratively. It's just matching those plans and having a connective tissue to the Harry Potter books. Because they already kind of like tie stuff with us to the Harry Potter books just based off the Goblin Rebellion alone. And I forgot who said it earlier. Easy way to tie everything together is to have a scene with Professor Binns in class talking about whatever happened during our time period within the 2 to 3 games that they put out for Hogwarts Legacy. And that's it. That's all you have to do.
Do you think that by games team, what Haddad is talking about, do you think that means the actual like working level or like first line people in the games team, or like the games team higher ups making commitments on behalf of the games team? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
do you think
yeah.
it's one executive from one part of WB talking to another executive from another part of WB, and they're like, oh yeah, for sure, we can totally do that, and then they go to the team and they're like, hey, can you go do this? And they're like, what? You know what I mean?
So this is knowing how like attached Alan to the game director for Hogwarts Legacy was, and in tuned with the team over at Avalanche Software. He's not going to voluntarily anything
unless he can do it really well.
Unless he thinks he can do it really well, or it fits what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if so, if it's something that you have to do it, then they're going to make it work, and without hindering the preciousness that was Hogwarts Legacy. They're going to make it work. If it is something that, hey, you have to do this. This is coming from David Zaslav, CEO, to David Haddad, WB Games president, to Alan Tu, game director for Hogwarts Legacy over at Avalanche Software, or even John Blackburn, founder of Avalanche Software, to Alan Tu. There's definitely a ladder of power that they have to cycle decisions through. But at the end of the day, I trust the leadership from John Blackburn to Alan to everybody else to keep us in mind when implementing anything that might be forced upon them concerning Hogwarts Legacy sequel and beyond.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to remember, the confidence that we had and still have in the Avalanche team.
Yeah, facts.
Because they obviously know what they need to know and they have passion for it. Mm-hmm. So they're the right people to be doing it. Mm-hmm. So even regardless of where some of these decisions are happening, mm-hmm. if Avalanche is able to do their thing, then it'll be fine.
We'll be good. Yeah. Agreed.
Trent said, what if our character is somehow related to Ignatius Peverell and a descendant of the Potters, or an ancestor of the Potters? It would be cool to have the invisibility cloak.
That would be cool, but I think that would be too much on the nose.
And I think the Potters are pretty well documented.
Yeah. We can trace them for really far back, so it would be cool to have the invisibility cloak, and we did get to have it in the game, in the first game, but I don't need the relations. Dumbledore is coming. If the first game is 1890, Dumbledore attends school in 1892, which would be our 7th year, his first year. And so you already have that connective tissue there with Dumbledore. Just follow it and have it work some way, shape, or form with his story dating back not only to Grindelwald, but his father going to Azkaban and what happened with Ariana and everything else, and his ability and his knowledge. Because y'all don't forget, Dumbledore is that dude. He's powerful, but he's so knowledgeable. He even says the school is a stronghold of ancient magic. That's where Avalanche Software got the idea for Hogwarts Legacy. Those threads and those little quotes from Dumbledore and other characters like Voldemort is what led them down the artistic and technical path that they showed in Hogwarts Legacy, with the traces of ancient magic that Voldemort touches on. And again, Hogwarts being a stronghold of ancient magic that Dumbledore touched upon. Dumbledore knows so much, bro. He knows so much. And I think it would be a nice touch to have us add to or be a part of that knowledge that he's culminated over his years. Not only in the Fantastic Beasts era, but maybe during his first couple of years at Hogwarts when we're 7th year.
Hi, Cat Black. A young Hebrew is also concerned about the intent. We have a couple of people talking about just concerns of whenever you get the higher ups involved, it's not a great sign because they're good at some things, but getting involved in the details of
right
is not really what they should be doing.
Right.
Britter said Hugh Laurie cast for Bins.
Yo, yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Can we cast him for several characters?
Yes. Yes.
High IQ Warrior said, introducing the story in the history class with Bins makes sense because it might not directly affect the plot too much.
Right.
Because it's just history class. And Harry never listened in that class.
Exactly.
So it could just be droning on in the background while Harry is like passing notes with Ron or whatever. That would be fun.
That would be good. Now, it doesn't fit the big picture narrative that is said in this quote. Mm-hmm. But I think low-hanging fruit, just use Ben's. He's also the connective tissue. The ghosts are the connective tissue, can be, as well. The ghosts, Peeves, all of them can be connective tissues as well. Because they were there when we were there. They were there when we were there, and they're there with Harry. They're there with Dumbledore when he's there. So, like, the ghost itself.
I'm sorry I was quiet earlier. Let me know if this is any better. Samuel said, what could be interesting is that we investigate ancient magic in terms of the Deathly Hallows and their origin, with the aid of young Dumbledore influencing his later path of power and redemption. Mm-hmm. AJ said Avalanche is undoubtedly going to do their best, but it's a bit concerning how much involvement WB higher-ups in films or series production will have.
Yo, that's like they attach themselves to Hogwarts Legacy in such a way that I was not expecting. Like, they're talking about the Hogwarts Legacy sequel. There's like 3 to 4 to 5 different WB higher-ups who've mentioned the sequel, or at least a Hogwarts Legacy franchise.
Hogwarts Legacy is the band on the Titanic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is the thing they have going for them. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they're all glomming on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
No, Hogwarts Legacy is a life raft.
What happens if WB goes down?
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. You still have Hogwarts Legacy. Like,
okay.
They're not.
Jasker said
doing
more with the remove requirement would be cool. Moonlily said, what if someone from Ministry of Magic finds a small repository with the corrupted ancient magic and they try to experiment with it, but it only end up creating a huge mess that spills into the Highlands, and our MC is the only natural ancient magic user? We have to deal with it, but naturally Ministry of Magic wants us under their control or gone. Dark wizards are also interested in our power, and it means more danger in the Highlands. I love it. That's a pretty cool idea.
You said ancient magic repository?
Yeah. A corrupt one. And they experiment on it, make a big mess, as one does. You go in, try to fix it, but they want you to do it on their terms. And then other people are also after that repository. And so the only safe place for you is in the school.
That could work. They already did the repository thing though, but that could work. That could work.
I just want to walk around in London and have to sneak and fight new bad people. Adele really wants to fight Dementors. Hugh Laurie would make a good Benz, and Rowan Atkinson in there somewhere would be nice. That's what AJ said. Mm-hmm. Ryan said he believes the blood oath was made by ancient magic, meaning either Dumbledore or Grindelwald possessed ancient magic.
Yeah.
I think you can invoke ancient magic without being a user of ancient magic.
Right.
Just like Lily did.
Yeah. 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 Love is the most powerful magic.
Yeah.
You don't need to be able to use ancient magic to use love.
Mary also likes the idea of bins being the pathway to connect.
I'm trying to think. What other big picture though? So
Steph said Dumbledore's quest for the uses of dragon's blood. So many avenues we could explore if we escort young Dumbledore. But I don't know when he made that discovery.
Yeah.
Probably not first year at Hogwarts.
Yeah. Like Dumbledore was like aces throughout his entire Hogwarts career. Earning Order of Merlin. So many awards, man. And I just think Dumbledore is the easy thing. Now, Voldemort can also like play a role based off of early versions of the the Death Eaters. We know J.K. Rowling mentions the Knights of Walpurgis being the precursors to the Death Eaters. Now, some people have taken that to be just Voldemort's or Tom Riddle's crew when he's in Hogwarts, and that he and his crew grew up and then they became Death Eaters. But we know based off Voldemort's actions that he follows a lot of things based off of what Salazar Slytherin would do. He's like, hey, I'm the heir of Salazar. Like, I'm going to do everything he would do. And since we touched on Salazar in the first game with his secret area and finding different dark magic to help cure Anne with Sebastian, Voldemort is also another path they could go on, because the Harry Potter series, the big players are obviously Harry, but he's not born. So then who could be around that can still tie in big picture wise with Hogwarts Legacy and the Harry Potter books? And the clear cut guys are Dumbledore and Voldemort, outside of Nicholas Flamel, whom you can introduce later on in the Hogwarts Legacy story.
Voldemort's too young.
But I'm saying though, his ideas, his reasons he were doing. We introduced Sebastian and him following the Dark Undercroft and the Gaunts with Ominous, and essentially finding a separate section that we knew nothing about with Salazar. You can explore that and have that tied to how Voldemort found so many other things, dark magic that he did. There's a lot of connective tissue there, on top of Hogwarts itself, the castle.
Have fun lurking, Tim.
Thanks for the lurk, Tim.
AJ said, fun fact, Voldemort is called Wolmasel in the Afrikaans books. So that's cool. That's a cool other language name for Voldemort.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Probably the same.
Yeah.
thing. That's just his name.
Oh, okay.
Stephe had a good point. The Gaunt family has a whole history of evil to explore.
Yes. Even Logan agrees. Ominous and the Gaunt family ties in easily. Same with Professor Weasley. Mm-hmm. Yes. You already have the Weasleys in there. Yes. So, like, coming up with a whole entire, like, thing, I'm like, bro, stuff is already here. You have a future Ministry of Magic headmaster already here in Hogwarts Legacy, who's playing Quidditch or playing with his broom in front of the school. He's a future headmaster during the Fantastic Beasts era. Like, it's not hard. You don't have to come up with anything. Just use what's already established in the first one.
A big picture storytelling elements. So that could be just mentioning, there was a student who used ancient magic or whatever. Like, that's not really a storytelling element.
It's not.
It's like a fact.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Not a major plot point. It's like Act 0. You can use ancient magic. Now go.
Yeah. And they can't use the Deathly Hallows because we know where they're at during this period also. Because at least with the Elder Wand, we know there's chronicles of where it's at, and even the invisibility cloak. And even the Resurrection Stone.
There's a lot of different ways they could do it.
Yeah.
Really, it shouldn't be hard, especially if they're not really changing their storytelling plan for the games.
Yeah.
They're just talking to the writers of the TV show and being like, hey, here are some things that might be good Easter eggs for the gamers who watch the TV show.
Yeah.
As a connection.
To feel connected to not only the game that they spend a lot of time with, but also while watching the TV series. Hey, thanks for playing the game. We're going to acknowledge you and your reference in there. Yeah. Like, that's why they're doing it.
Updated Wizarding World.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's...
Yeah.
Go
way back to the Prevor brothers. Honestly, the Founders. The Founders is the biggest thing for me. Because I keep saying, and I've been on this hill. I was one of the first ones on this hill. Keep going back. Each game you go back and back and back. It's called Hogwarts Legacy.
Gabe has a really fun philosophical question. If love is the most powerful magic, does that mean muggles are not capable of love? Or are they only able to use the most powerful form of magic? I think that's a fun thing to think about.
I think about it like this. Everybody can open the door. Everybody can open the door. Magic gives us a key to open a specific door. And that's what love. Everybody has the ability to love. But magic gives us the ability to tap into a more powerful magic through love. That's all. Like, that's how I look at it. If that makes sense.
Seems like ancient magic, if we're talking in these terms, ancient magic is universal. Yeah. Anyone can invoke its power, but you can't do it on purpose unless you have a specific set of abilities.
And you have to be a witch or wizard.
Yeah, most witches and wizards can't do it on purpose either.
But I'm saying, you have to be, I think in order to accidentally tap into it, you have to be a witch or wizard is what I'm saying. I think so. It'd be
cool if you didn't have to.
It would be very cool. It would be very cool. But just like this, what is it?
Everyone know about
the Book of Admittance and Pen of Acceptance, whatever. There's definitely a divide between a Muggle and a wizard, and being able to tap into that magic, whether by accident or on purpose, is based off of how you were born.
Just the name said, do you think it will still be called Hogwarts Legacy if it's not a direct sequel?
It is a sequel. So that, don't get it twisted, guys. Even though big picture wise, they're finding ways to connect it to the Harry Potter TV series, Hogwarts Legacy is a name brand now. They're not going to change the name. Hogwarts Legacy, and you think, whenever anybody says or thinks Hogwarts Legacy, it's going to be followed by the best-selling game of 2023, the popular Harry Potter game. You're not going to change that. So don't worry about that. They're not going to change the story. It's still going to focus on us. It's our experience. They're just finding ways, big picture, to tie it to the Harry Potter books. That's all. So whatever events we go through with our experiences, with our choices, whether in the sequel and on to the third one, hopefully, narratively and big picture wise, they will find a way to tie it to the Harry Potter book TV series. That's it. Sebastian's still going to be there. Poppy, Notside, the professors, everything we did is still going to narratively matter moving throughout the storyline. They're just going to find a way to connect it as well. That's all. So please don't get it twisted.
Logan says try Wizard Tournament time. Logan also said Zenobia Noak is going to have a Gobstone's comeback. She's secretly a Magic is Might supporter. I knew it. I knew that about
evil,
her.
Bro. Zenobia is evil.
I back that. I back that idea.
I think love is ancient magic, meaning the other characters, Harry's mom and the other known used ancient magic, but probably did not know it's separate from regular magic. Yeah. I mean, even Fig's wife was doing research on it and knows about it. Doesn't mean she could tap into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bucky said, "Oh, thank God I can relax."
Yeah. You can relax.
Yeah. It's
still about us. The games are still about us and our decisions and our experiences.
So Samuel still seems concerned about Hogwarts Legacy being included in the canon coordination, or it'll have to be retconned, and feels like backpedaling or pandering. So it sounds like they can do this connection without changing any of their existing plans for Hogwarts Legacy. Yep. It's just having the people from Group A talk to the people from Group B and be like, "Hey, here's what we're doing," and they'll say, "Hey, we'll find a way to mention that." That's all they have to do. I don't think they need to rewrite either thing necessarily to do what's being discussed.
Now they could do it with the Harry Potter series, and not so much rewrite it, but add to it, because there's a lot of holes that is mentioned. There's a lot of aspects in Harry Potter series that is mentioned but is not explored, and so we could go in and start with Dumbledore. And he's talking about Harry. But we get backstory into how Dumbledore became to be that big role. Because if you did that, you can not only tie Hogwarts Legacy, but the Fantastic Beast also. Mention that big duel with Grindelwald and how it changed him, and now where he's at, and how he made mistakes or whatever, stuff like that. Like,
All of that's already in the books.
I know, but I'm saying you can highlight it and go in more depth. They mentioned stuff from, well, I already touched about it last week with The Last of Us. There's a thing that they mentioned with a character, but they dedicated an entire 40 to 50-minute episode with the backstory with it. That just added to that character's backstory. So when the decisions he made happened, it had more gravitas. So that's all I'm saying. You can do that with a Dumbledore, and he can mention learning something from a person who could use ancient magic, and boom, that's us. And then go into everything else. So yeah, you can do that, but that's how you can change the Harry Potter TV series. But I think they're going to change, or at least make sure the thread is tied mostly using the video game Hogwarts Legacy, because that's easy. A, that's easier to do, and B, you already have that freedom under Report Key Games label, which allows you to create original stories like Wizards Unite, like Hogwarts Mystery, and of course Hogwarts Legacy.
I believe AJ is now cooking with gas. AJ said Poppy and Zenobia will be the dual villains of Hog Leg 2 by harnessing the power we took from Ranrock.
AJ,
so many beasts will die.
Get out of here.
Crying face.
Get out of here.
Crying face.
I just need Poppy to marry Newt.
I think we figured it out.
No, not marry Newt, but marry Newt's. Who is it? What would it be? Grandfather?
When was Newt born?
After Dumbledore.
Like the 20s? I don't think
all the events happened in 1920s and 30s.
Okay, we don't have time for grandfather.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Grandfather. Thank you, Steffe. Director's cut is still coming. Maybe we'll get some more insight on this good. Yes, Mitchell. Yes. The director's cut, aka definitive edition, could also tie in and kind of add narratively where we're going in the sequel, but not only that, add those shifts between the connective tissue for the TV series. That's a very good point. That is a very good point, because we're getting an extra 10 to 15 hours, according to Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. That's a very good point. Evil Poppy returns. All right. I'm not taking Poppy slander at all.
On Twitch, Cindy said, "You want Poppy to be Newt's mother?" with about 5 question marks.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I don't agree on that one.
I just
no way.
I love those characters. I don't think it happened. I just love those characters. They're both Hufflepuffs. They both love animals. Where did Newt get it from? It'd be cool if it was Poppy. That's all. That's all. No, nothing deeper than that. I love the two characters. Let's find a way to connect them.
Ether said Evil Poppy returns wearing animal pelts and armor.
Oh my gosh. Just like her parents, spoiler alert. Oh my gosh.
No.
Now, there is a thing I want to highlight before we get out of here. And again, I could spend all day on this thing. They talk about other games. They talk about the universe, blah, blah, blah. These things, Warner Brothers Discovery is coming franchise, going to start larger Potter plans. These things take 5 to 7 years, depending on the size and scope. Entertainment, Potter demo, blah, blah, blah. It's something they say right here. Trends. They're talking about clothes and merch, yeah. That's like Harry Potter materials, iterations, Dark Knight. Okay. The trajectory of another famous figure in the Warner Brothers vault offers an example. The Dark Knight has remained a cool character for more than 75 years. How many different Batmans are there, he says. In time, he hopes fans will wind up asking one another, "What Harry are you?" Which points to other iterations of Harry, in my opinion. Now, we have Harry, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry in the books, Harry in Wizards Unite, and now the TV series. We have older Harry. We even have Harry in The Cursed Child. These changes scare me because of that line right there. Because yes, we had different Batmans. So are they meaning we're going to keep telling the Harry Potter story, but with different actors? Like, what does that mean?
Well, he said up here, you have to really remind yourself that it's ever evolving and nothing you're doing is ever going to live forever. You have to always think about what's new and different in the trends that are happening. So he's looking at, you're going to recreate this story every generation or so.
That's a horrible idea. That's a horrible idea.
Well, I mean, they're doing what we have expected them to do, which is try to target Harry Potter at a new generation.
Yeah.
So there is money to be made with people who don't know about this yet. Let's make something in a way that they will like it.
Yeah.
And then 25 years after this is over, someone's going to be like, ooh, there's money to be made. A new generation doesn't know about this. Let's do it again. I think that's what he's saying.
Okay. My thing is, following trends is how we got to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I'm just going to be straight up. Following trends is how we got a studio known for single-player action to do a live service game and lose WB $200 million. Talking about Rockstar.
Ghost Step said Harry Potter multiverse.
I'm just saying. That's what happened with Concord. It lost $400 million because PlayStation or Sony is trying to find the trend of action hero action hero shooters, which got popular with Overwatch back in 2018. But Overwatch is still the only one doing it really well, until I guess Marvel Rivals, which comes out this month or next month. You don't follow trends. You focus on the story and new ways to shed light on something that we already know. That's why comic books work. Yes, you have multiverse, but different perspectives and different takes on the character narratively as a focus and not following trends works better. Which is why, again, I was neutral with this whole canon thing because of decisions and wordings used like that. Trends change. Like, we're not chasing trends. Trends makes you dated.
They are.
They are.
They are. 100% are money motivated. They're not chasing trends. They're chasing money.
They're chasing money.
Okay? That's never a great plan to start out with. You have to start with something you're passionate about because by the time you're done with your thing, the trend will be over.
Yeah.
So you can't chase trends. You have to just know what your audience might like. Think about your ideal audience and target it to that ideal person.
But
that's it.
And but the reason they're chasing money, yes, is the priority, and they're chasing trends to get the money.
Right.
And
they're lagging and they're not doing a good job.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking about stuff like Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy, Star Wars, the first trilogy. They're timeless because they weren't chasing trends. They borrowed and stole heavily from narrative devices or plot devices that is used heavily.
Fantasy tropes.
But fantasy tropes is a thing, and they made it work. Whenever you start chasing trends, you date the product that you're putting out. Majika and now it feels old.
Majika said, wait, is HP trendy? I don't think so.
Yes, it's one of the largest IPs.
Trendy?
It's
been one of the largest IPs since the 90s.
I just think it's just...
It's a money machine.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut. It's an IP that just doesn't go away, which is why you have people spending money to go to Leesburg.
That's what they're doing here, is they are seeing millennials like it, Gen Z, not so much. It will go away unless we target to a new generation. So they're just... I understand what they're doing.
Me too.
And
I just didn't like the words.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the wording.
Well, is the guy talking going to be deeply involved with the creative process, or is he just the guy who's talking? Or she? Oh, it's a he. It's a he.
He.
Is he writing the show, or is he just at WB?
Who was it that said
Oberschelp?
He's higher up.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll say whatever he wants to say. You know.
Yeah. That might not necessarily be what the people who are actually making it doing.
He's just some guy higher up on the chain who has heard about this project and the potential money and is excited about it, and this is his take on what's cool about this. He's not the one in the writer's room. You know what I mean? This is...
But he is the one that is passing down the orders also.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think the orders he's passing down are Harry Potter Multiverse.
Well, the orders are Harry Potter Live Service and always online.
Yeah. That's true. I'm not saying he's giving good orders. I'm saying he's not in the room.
No. But when you said that, it flipped the switch, and I remember David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, said we're going to lean heavily into live service and always on, so we can have consistent revenue for our stocks in between the big product developments like a Hogwarts Legacy and everything.
They want reliable, predictable money instead of a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, they're gonna have directives like that.
Yeah.
But that is what I cling to, is that he's maybe a boss. Samuel said he's the janitor.
Yeah.
I don't like... This is his take on what it could be.
Yeah.
But he's not the one who pitched the project.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So maybe we can cling to that.
Yeah.
Is that this is just some money guy.
Yeah.
And he can spell Harry Potter.
Some cat with a title.
Maybe he has seen the movies, you know? He has definitely seen how much money the parks make.
They mentioned his position further into the thing, but I'm not gonna try to find it.
Hey Twim.
So a lot of information coming out of just one article, not only concerning Hogwarts Legacy sequel. Over on that's on Twitch. A lot of information not only concerning the sequel, but what WB is planning to do and why they're making this push now for the baking show that comes out next week, and of course the TV series that comes out at the end of 2026, early 2027, and it's all because they captured lightning in a bottle with Hogwarts Legacy, which they keep talking about how surprised they are and trying to capture why it worked.
Why are they surprised that they gave people what they've been asking for decades, and the people liked having what they had been asking for?
I don't like...
I am shocked.
I don't understand. Maybe it's because it's volatile. Gaming industry is volatile. You don't know what's going to work.
And Avalanche is new to this type of game.
Avalanche is not a proven developer.
It was a risk. Even though it's Harry Potter IP, it was a risk.
But the pitch worked enough for WB Games and the then current heads over at WB to greenlight this production before David Zaslav took over for WB and merged Discovery with WB. So I know a little bit about the pitch and how it worked. I can't go into it. But John Blackburn, founder over at Avalanche Software, kind of told me about it. It was pretty cool. It took a lot of tries and stuff, but I'm just hindsight is 2020, and so we have the benefit of knowing what we know now. I just don't understand how it was a surprise. I knew from the first trailer, from the reveal trailer, oh, we about to get something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked before about how it just seems like they're disconnected from their customers.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like it's just a WB
Oh,
problem.
no. That is in every aspect. And they're disconnected from their workers. Like, let alone the customer.
Well, they don't care about their workers.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Those are the people who do the things, and if the things work, they can continue to do the things. But if the things don't work, then
we're gonna fire them.
Then we don't need them. We
Even
don't
though
like
they,
them.
Even though they made the decision.
We don't acknowledge them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's don't get crazy.
Yeah.
Cindy wants to know if we want to raid Cyber Fueled IT.
Yes. What time is it?
6:26.
Oh, okay. Gosh. I had to move Expecto mode because I didn't know it was 6:26. Right quick.
Stephanie's been doing time checks.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie.
It's not Stephanie's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault for not looking at chat. I'm so chat. I am so excited about this.
You're
news.
all fired up today.
I'm like, I'm happy. A, we have news, but B, like, this is like really exciting, and this could go a couple of ways. And my conspiracy theory self is just like, bro, this could be huge, and in a good and bad way. Talking connective tissue, talking big picture, and like I always said, even before the game came out, how at Hogwarts Legacy would be cool if it connected to the wider Harry Potter universe or Wizarding World universe.
Nagura said, "You're always excited, James, and we love you for it."
Real quick, I got a package from Jerry and them too.
Is it in here?
No, it's out there. I forgot to grab it. I got the kids and came rushing back. Can
we do that next?
Yeah, we'll do it all next week. All right, I'm gonna put real quick before we get out of here. We have 121 likes, so we got to do a pirouette. We got chocolate frogs, so we're going to do that right quick. While we're doing that, I'm going to put up a poll for Expecto mode for next week, and we'll do 2 of them and go from there. We'll do this week's and next week's.
Ether said, "This is how it started last time. One nugget of news, then it was ahem, an avalanche of news. Pun intended." Ryan wants Chandler's input. Ramos is thanking for the positivity.
Chandler can't say anything. He can touch on the 30 million sold, but he can't talk anything about the sequel.
Hi, Adam. Adam said, "Hello, playing Lego Harry Potter, the PS5 version."
Oh, how's the new one? How is it? What's the differences outside of graphics?
Bucky said, "Hogwarts Legacy, the return of the Merlin trials." One can only hope.
Don't even.
I got so excited hearing that. I will buy 4 copies. You know, I hope there are more Merlin trials than ever. And I hope there are fewer kinds of them, but more total trials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Less variety, but higher quantity. That's what I want.
That's the threshold.
That's what really makes me want to pre-order. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That's the selling point, at least for me.
Oh my gosh.
AJ said, "This time there will be 947 Merlin trials."
Don't even joke. And if Merlin's not mentioned in the sequel, I don't care what they connected. They better make sure he's a big part.
He's got a big window in the History of Magic classroom.
Yeah! But I need more.
So he's going to be in there.
I need more.
They've already got it covered.
I need
They're
more.
all over it.
No, it's not the same.
All over it.
It is not the same. Go back. Ooh, pensives do exist. They could use pensives. They could use the Hogwarts pensives. Did I break something?
This fell off.
I was hitting the desk too much.
We're too excited.
They can use the Hogwarts pensive as the connective tissue. Dumbledore uses it.
Hi, Cafe Fungus.
They can use the Hogwarts pensive. Hogwarts Legacy and the Keepers, all the stuff in the backstories with the pensive. They can focus on the Hogwarts pensive. What other vials does Dumbledore have? Could it be a vial he got from us way back when that he kept outside of the vials from the other professors?
Bye, David.
They could use the pensieves and the memories. I'm adding that to my list. Oh my gosh. Make sure you guys vote. We're about to do a pirouette. Thank you guys for the likes. We're about to do chocolate frogs and then we get out of here. Oh my gosh. They could do so much. They could do so much.
Cindy said beans.
Oh yeah, beans. And I'll do that with the chocolate frog. Let's go.
Okay.
I gotta do that video now.
Be careful. Sammy is...
Oh, Sammy's here.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
Alright. Oh, I got the
You need
shoe off.
to come forward. Your face is not visible, except for your glasses. Here,
Alright.
let's trade.
That's right.
There we go.
Alright. Oh, I can't do it in these shoes. Well, I'll try to do it in the shoes. Alright. 3, 2, 1. With shoes, everybody. What did I do?
I have now gone into attack mode. You are attacked.
Okay, Sammy. Oh my gosh.
It's the natural progression of my skills.
Your, what is it? Your spin food?
Spin foo.
Spin food?
I should have gone straight into pause first.
You hesitated.
I don't have the muscle memory yet. I'm still training, James.
Uh-huh.
I hope you don't expect me to be perfect at it when I'm a beginner.
Suggestions on what we think we're going to open in the chat. And let me give a chocolate frog emotes in the chat as well.
Gabe said I was a floating head and arms.
We need more light in here. All right, I have to eat a handful. Who redeemed it last week?
Rita said, finish him.
Thank you, Rita.
Thanks, Rita. I could have if I wanted to.
Thank you, Rita.
Micah said we're getting Beaumont.
Who redeemed this, Cindy?
Seems likely.
On Twitch, we have, based on how long you watch our streams, you get channel points, or we call them chocolate frogs. And somebody had 50,000 points. And
a handful, James.
I forgot it was there.
James.
I would have gotten rid of it. Luckily, I won't throw up. But I have to do it. I will get rid of that redemption. But I have to do it. I won't throw up. I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay.
If I have to, I'll just run out. Alright.
Okay.
Alright. Handful, as promised.
Ugh.
There's a lot of greens, so that's good.
And it is every flavor beans.
It is every flavor.
It came from this thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, James.
I will brush my teeth immediately.
Cindy said, no, I thought maybe a dozen beans. Cindy used all of her points.
Here we go.
Just don't chew.
Yeah.
Don't chew.
For you, Cindy.
No. Alexa said plug your nose. Oh.
I'm good.
Tarnish said, "Get the trash can, Sue. It's barfing time." Parrish, he walked into him eating a handful of every flavor beans. Barbara said he's turning green.
I'm good.
No.
I'm good.
Joe Step said, "Don't get rid of it. I'm almost to 30K."
I'm good. I was like 30 beans, yo.
Tarnish said, "Iron stomach." Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
Denebula said, "Even if you don't have any bad flavors, I'm sure your taste buds are confused."
You're a wizard, Harry.
Princess Hack said he could have gotten more good than bad in that handful. Entirely possible.
I did taste vomit twice.
Was it yours or a bean?
It was me.
Oh no. Ryan said that face is telling me he got the booger flavor. Moon Lily said, "Ew, James."
Let's go.
Gabe said, "You can do it, Bruce."
I'm a man of my word.
Bucky said, "OMG, we might all see Thestrals if James passed eating those beans."
Let's go.
Midnight Hunter says, "Looks yummy. Hey, you know what? You too can have this experience if you get some every flavor beans and eat the whole box."
Yo, that was like 30 or 40, bro.
James, that is unbelievable. Oh, we got to follow.
Hey, thanks for the follow over on Twitch. Who is it?
Thanks, Mayonnaise Man the Third.
Mayonnaise Man the Third.
I was hoping they would follow us.
I better get a 10 out of 10 pirouette score based off of that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, also, and Majika has subscribed to our channel for 20 months.
20 months Patrona Squad. Yeah, I better get a 10 out of 10 for the next week or two. For the whole month. Oh my gosh.
James, you'll get what you get. And you won't
Open
throw
the chocolate frog.
Hutchie said, "I woke up today to find out Hogleg 2 was announced. Haven't gotten this excited in a while." Well, I am glad you woke up to some good news today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Majika said 10 out of 10 for the beans. Spin is under review. That feels fair.
Okay.
That feels fair.
I'll take that.
That's some good, fair, and balanced journalism right there.
I will take that.
Moon Lily said, "Not gonna lie, I got a bit nauseous. I think he might have too."
I did.
Cindy said, "Now that right there is content."
How long did it take me to chew that joint, bro?
Like approximately 6 standard Earth hours. Cindy said, "I have no more points, so we're good for a while."
Oh my gosh. I gotta hope like Corgi Chico or like somebody don't see it. Alright, here we go.
Are we ready?
3, 2, 1.
Birdie. What's yours?
Who is that?
Bowman Wright was born to a muggle father and a witch mother. He combined his love of magic, science, and sports by creating the Golden Snitch.
Oh!
That's a new one.
Yeah, that is a
I've
new
never
one.
seen that one before.
We might have gotten it before. I just don't remember it. But this is definitely feels like a new one.
And Birdie.
Ah, Birdie. That was perfect. That was perfect.
Bucky, James is in Hufflepuff, and I am in Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff all the way. Best house. No evil witches or wizards. I don't care what Hogwarts Legacy said. They're not canon yet. So Blackthorn or whoever the dude's name is does not exist because it's not canon. Haha.
It's okay, buddy.
Anyway. Best house. Anyway, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Britter said yet. James is working on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Villain origin story in progress.
Yeah.
I'm working on
yes,
that
yeah, I was
by
say.
giving him a villain origin story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my main responsibility right now. Moon Lily said, sure, James, sure. Those badgers are evil looking.
Yeah, protective and like severely loyal. Sounds like a Hufflepuff. And they burrow in the ground where our common room is, like a Hufflepuff. That's how I read it. Perspective. Everybody has one.
It's just like a PSA. The more you know.
But Jerry, if you're watching this on Replay Squad, we will open your package next week. And I think we had we got a replacement fortress. Shout out to Micah. But yeah.
People are saying this is Lord Farquaad.
This is Lord Farquaad.
It does look like that.
And the poll for Expecto Mode, which we'll do twice next week. Let me end it. The theme going into next week is
fall.
Fall. So get your fall on. Take some photos in Hogwarts Legacy using the photo mode that you think best represents the theme fall. We will highlight that and the other one for this week, which I think was food or feast. Both next week for Wizarding Wednesday, so be sure to tune in on Twitch or YouTube. If you're on Twitch, be sure to follow us, and if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. And we got some more content coming for you guys, more about this topic, back with our Star Wars Outlaws playthrough and Indiana Jones content, because that's dropping next month, and of course Assassin's Creed Shadows. So,
and if you're WB, consider making a show based on Redwall. You would not be chasing a trend. That's just an idea.
Sue,
what?
You're so smart. But if we're actually talking to WB,
don't do it. Whatever you're thinking about, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Just talk with me or her. Just talk to XpectoGO. And it's many, many members of the community, particularly Patronus Squad. We will not steer you wrong. We've been on the hype train at its fullest. We've been on the hype train for all of your Harry Potter games. There's not a lot of content creators who can say that. We know what the people want.
I don't know what the people want, but I think a Redwall show would be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
Like a little animated show with like little mice and badgers. That's why I thought of it.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about badgers and I felt like I had to seize the day, you know?
She played Hogwarts Mystery for like a week.
I did. A whole week.
We played Wizards Unite until it ran off into the sunset. We played Puzzles and Spells and created the Ginger Studs and the Amelias. And even Chuck's team.
Yeah. Chuck Bass.
Chuck Bass.
Chuck Bass fan club.
Yeah. Highlighted every Wizarding Wednesday for like a year. Same with Magic Awakened.
Goodness.
Played every beta before it released into this side of the world. Quidditch Champions. Still play it. Will play it probably this weekend with the new season. And of course Hogwarts Legacy, which I was one of the first people to play it. WB. Portkey. We've been on this, homie. We've been here. Use us. We got you. We're tapped in. We're plugged into the matrix that is the community. I know Kung Fu. Look, boy, we got you, bro.
What is happening? I'm not part of that. I just think a Redwall show would be great. That's all.
Oh.
Hi, Delilah.
And what also would be great is you guys being here next week for another Wizarding Wednesday. But thank you. Thank you for being here. Hopefully it didn't scare anybody. We'll talk more about the connective tissue and play other games and all this other stuff. And so, yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you for another successful and amazing Wizarding Wednesday. What's so funny now? What's so funny now?
Bucky said WB and Portkey are like, okay, thank you. Cat Owl said sugar high. AJ said, Soup, please check that James isn't having a reaction to those beans.
No, but I was spitting bars. I said I'm plugged in to the community like the Matrix. I know Kung Fu, which means I'm learning from the community because I'm plugged in to the Matrix.
That's not what that means.
It works.
I know Kung Fu means you know Kung Fu.
Yeah. I'm learning so much because I'm plugged in.
I think it is a sugar high. I think that's what's happening.
No, they plugged it into his thing and they hit download and he's like, I know Kung Fu. That's when he's plugged in. I know the community because I'm plugged in. It works. Go watch the 99 or whatever movie.
I now remember that line from that really wonderful film. One of the best.
Oh my god. Well, bro, it works. I don't care. It works. This is not a sugar high. It might be, but I'm 90% sure it is not.
Young Hebrew said that was a hard bar for real.
Thank you.
Okay.
It is. It works. Go watch it.
Okay. I guess I just would have to be more of a Matrix fan to connect.
Yeah.
Make the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to trust my judgment.
It's like my least favorite line.
So you got to trust. I'm not saying it's my favorite line. It's just iconic.
I know Kung Fu.
It's just iconic.
No expression on the face.
And me using an iconic line from an iconic movie means I'm even more tapped in. Bro, get on my level. Let's go, man. WB, hit your boy up. We're about to get out of here.
Gabe said it works for him.
Thank you.
Midnight Hunter loves your passion.
It works.
All right.
It works.
It worked.
It works. I don't care what y'all
Nailed
say.
it.
I'm nailing it.
Nailed it.
I'm calling it.
Okay.
Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Brian Little.
Japan.
little.
Time.